Alright guys, so we're here in the Best of Asia tournament, hosted by Backmagoon, and we've got Louis versus Yui here. So Louis here in the blue trunks on Delhi, well Yui, so over on the left side in the pink trunks on Mongolians. So if you're just tuning in, I haven't actually been able to cast the first two games in the series because even though the games were only played last night, I can't dig up the replays from either player's match history, so shoutouts to both of them for having open match history. You guys, if you're playing competitive games and you've just played in events, please don't just instantly shut your match history, or don't play with your match history shut, because if you actually want people to do good commentary without it having to be there and then live, so for commentators outside your nation of residence, please have your fucking match histories open. Anyway, so we're here in game 3, and part of the reason why these players don't have a game 1 or 2 recording is because they both actually kept playing the game immediately after they'd finished those series. So for whatever reason, it bye-bye, deleted the VODs. Anyway, we got game 3 here in the best of 7, with our players locked up at 1-1. So thankfully, it's been pretty even so far. Our Delhi player just going for the Moss getting efficient production. Obviously the tech you want to try and cram out first, Piety, and then he'll no doubt be looking to get Sanctity if he's not under an immense amount of pressure when he's in age 2, or as he's taking age 2. But Yui over here, Pink Trunks Mongols, is going to go for pretty standard fast barracks, spears. Already got the Gur over at the gold mine. I actually like this, it's right next to the berries. He might even be able to delay pastures, which is always a real benefit. Because, you know, Mongols is all about savings, bro. You don't have to build houses. You don't have to worry about trying to build multiple Gurs, because you can just build, or you even start with one, but you can just build a second one, and basically the two of those are all you're going to really need until you get your step redoubt, which is going to be a super empowered gold Gur. So if you can save on pastures, hold them off as long as possible. It really means he can commit to more towers around his opponent's base. We'll try and cram out that second or third production facility just that little bit quicker. So Louis over here, and yeah, we're here on the Panny, so this nice big hill over here. It actually makes it a bit weird for Yui to try and harass Louis in a sense, because particularly because both these wood lines are here. Louis's got 2 wood options to go for, and on top of that there's no other resources immediately around his base that can be easily zoned from the front side other than these berries. But the beauty of Delhi being a berries empowerment sieve, you're going to take a mill early, so you can always fall back onto your sheep. You don't have to worry about pushing from early sheep, where you can really get screwed from not having a lot of sheep and trying to get on the mill while your opponent's already got the tower up, already got units out there. You know, he's already going to be able to make a lot of value out of this and just piss off back under the safety of the town centre. Yui's even being very, very careful there to not overextend. He actually pulled out initially without getting any damage off, because he just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to tank any tower damage. I mean town centre damage, because realistically if Louis just garrisons even a couple of villages, it would kill the unarmoured spearmen quite quickly. And like I said, having the 2 wood clumps here, no gold or stone over the side, does make it a bit awkward for Yui, because he's really got to try and tower around his opponent. So he's going to need to basically tower here, 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 if he's looking to leapfrog them. And if you don't leapfrog them, obviously you've got no coverage, so you can't really garrison spears in the tower for extra range damage. You can't really make use of the movement speed on anything once you say get age 2, if you're going for the YAM network. So Lipani is a really weird map in a sense that, you know, rush builds can be very hit or miss depending on how the seed actually works. I've seen some pretty rough map seeds that then have people try and play Man-at-Arms first on them, and it really hasn't worked out because the gold and the stone have been on the rear side of the base, and on top of that, you know, this choke here sometimes might not even exist, and the wood clump will basically span from here to here. You know, you've pretty much got a free wall at that point, you know, as well as having a safe wood line back here. So stable's going down for Louis empty, so he's just chilling for the time being. Got his age 2. Yui's taking his at the moment, so he'll be getting gear stones. So he is going to make, you know, benefit of the Yam network when he's around the towers for all of his units, not just traders and cavalry. It's quite nice for when you want to really try and, again, leapfrog the towers around your opponent's base, because even the villager and all your spearmen, all your archers, they're all going to benefit from the increased speed. And Delhi, beauty of them, they can always just cram scholars into these production facilities, and they've effectively got 2. So that efficient production tech that Louis got straight off the bat, now he is going to get Sanctity, even in spite of a little bit of pressure, because he hasn't really been forced off, you know, anything over here. He's fine to even get Sanctity behind this, because if he breaks out of this hold, he can look at grabbing the sacred sites, get that gold generation going. While Yui, it's all the stables, spending his stone, try and cram out some horsemen. Can add a range as well, so nice mixed composition for him. Got stables ranged here for the Delhi player. Only the 2 unit types, but again, if he fits a scholar in each of those, he's effectively got 4 production buildings. So Louis not able to really gather a lot through this, and is that a spear or a villager going down there? Sorry, no, it must have been a villager. I've actually been an archer. What colour are the pants? Yeah, it's a villager. That's villager colour pants, not archer colour pants. Oh, I can tell over here. Okay. So anyway, Louis broken out of the hole. Even bringing his scholars forward. I was going to say imams, but it's not correct for this civ. So he hasn't really got anything giving him efficient production. He's going to go double blacksmith so he can afford... I mean, he can always afford the upgrades whenever he wants because he's Delhi, but at the same time they're going to train slower. So getting 2 blacksmiths out can often be worth it. Other civs, you'll usually see people stepping their blacksmith count. Do like this wall off because it's making it hard for Yui to try and engage here, but he's managed to find a gap. Louis is forced to throw the rest of the wall up here. That makes it a bit difficult for him to try and grab this other sacred. This one round here is going to be a real fuck around to get to. So in a sense, this free wall off here for Louis at the same time has also denied him the opportunity from taking the south sacred in this position, with Yui trying to push through towards the north, trying to cut him off from this topside one. You know, get him throwing down that wall earlier. Committing to a gate already. I mean, walls aren't expensive, but once you start adding in gates and shit, they start to become quite expensive. Or once you've got to, you know, replace sections or cover in anything less than the most efficient path at the time. On top of that, the map is still reasonably open. I mean, you've still got all this passage and all here. But I mean, this wall off's been really nice. Well, that terrain cliff has been really nice. Sort of a pseudo wall there for Louis. So Yui's trying to snipe the scholar. And now he's actually sort of focusing on some archers. Deciding he's got to pull back, because there's now some melee there to back up the archers. Are actually countered by horsemen, but I mean, with that sort of numbers advantage, with a bit of more mixture in the units, obviously Yui is going to be taking a really uphill fight against Louis. So Louis empty. He's going to grab his second sacred. He's actually trying to harass Yui metal over here. So Yui metal actually has a spear still. particularly if he's benefiting from Yam. It's not so bad to try and defend with the spears against the horsemen, though now they're out of the range of it. That was from the Khan. Man, these guys just get off so much little damage. Inconsequential damage. It's unreal. I'd say disable the indicator for when Khans are attacking things, but then we know how that'd go. They'd end up killing 8 villagers off fucking Silver League players. But Louis Empty is going to be able to clean that up. So these guys, they'll travel the same speed as the Khan, but while they're charging, they're actually slightly faster. It's a bit like when you've got melee chasing melee when you're talking cavalry anyway, because of the charge. So Yui Metal taking castle, but time being he hasn't really done any damage to Louis MT behind sniping that initial villager. In fact, in terms of like the cost losses, overall I'd say Yui Metal's slightly behind. And he's already got his castle age. Or compound, the defender's still finishing up for Louis Empty, while Yui Metal's taking the opportunity to try and cut through and get on top of that sacred site. So with this big wall for free here, very difficult. It's really forced Yui Metal to try and take the direct path here. So he's not able to actually get through and get any value by denying that sacred site, you know, just neutralizing it. Because these things are like having 2 free relics, basically. So Louis Empty is going to be able to get out of there with his scholar. Yui Metal still trying to chase him down the spears. Map seed Imba. So Yui just copping the losses of those spears, wasn't able to get anything out of that. And yeah, this kill value is really favouring Louis Empty at the moment, as well as the army value. Yui's going to keep trying to harass here. He's even added a lancer. But the actual path here that he's got to take is just... This is massive, man. This is like half the map. He's got to fucking try and navigate around in order to actually harass his opponent here. So this wall-off's been a great idea. And in fact, Louis, rather than having to repair the segment, just throws a gate down on it, which effectively repairs it anyway. So very good awareness of the game engine and economics, good maths, quick maths. So it looks like you will get, oh, not even a villager. That's rough, man. Man, you've got to over micro your fucking cavalry past the unit to actually get damage off. Like, unreal. Louis Empty confident in his maths once again to just evacuate everything there. And really, Yui walks out the loser because now he's got a really low horseman that's just going to probably be the first thing that gets picked off here. Lancers charging on the... horsemen charging on the Lancer, but they don't do a lot of damage to the Lancer. So yeah, one of those horsemen already falling. And Yui able to chase, in spite of having a lower cost army there. And in fact, the longer he chases, the worse it gets for Yui here. Who's got to have a bit of a mission back to this other cavalry. I think Yui Metal's possibly gone for a few too many horsemen here. Might even need to get some spears in the mix. Or, you know, he is doubling down on the Lancer production. I suppose both our players are going to want to add crossbows here. And with Louis already having archers, it sort of makes it tough for Yui Metal because they'll be able to outrange the crossbows slightly. and also just be a nice free little meat shield for him. And they can engage the spears at range. At the top level, it's definitely harder to make use of spears than it is to make use of cav plus ranged, I think. Over having spears plus ranged or spears plus cav. I think range plus cav, or ultimately gives you more overall flexibility in your composition, because you've got the benefits of the range, you've got the benefits of the faster melee. So really the only downside is it's the most expensive of the three combinations you can have. But if you can afford it, man, it's definitely the way to go. So Luenti trying to get a bit of damage there, and it looks like he's even thinged up in terms of the worker kills and actually grown the overall lead in the army kills and army value. Being denied this hunt over here, but at the same time, he's already thrown down a keep, denied that gold and that food. So the UE medal seemingly hasn't really recovered from overextending with all this raiding. Lost a little bit too much over here, I think. A lot of the bodies have probably gone by now. And yeah, right now it's looking really ugly for UE medal. He's got one military pop to 32. And Louis MT takes game number 3, taking the series to 2-1.